Progressives in Winnipeg, Manitoba rolled back a policy that would have prevented a stabbing. A man is dead, and the security screening protocols that would have prevented it all were undone in the name of protecting marginalized people like the dead man. I wanted to make a video to demonstrate to you how social justice agendas pushed by low liability progressives actually hurt the very minorities and vulnerable groups they say their agendas are designed to help. Unfortunately, this video is about a very terrible thing, a suspected murderer. But we have to go back a few steps to show how we got here in the first place. In 2019, Winnipeg's main library brought in enhanced security screening. The Millennium Library brought in bag checks and metal detectors, and immediately 911 calls from the facility dropped. Let me show you this Global News article wherein Ed Cuddy, the library services manager, described what it was like at the library before the enhanced security checks. He said a machete fight broke out once on the 4th floor. A computer was thrown at a worker. Ammunition was found in the washroom. The library was also used as a recruiting ground for gangs. Anyone who would work or spend any time there would have seen the police or fire paramedic services visiting several times a week, often several times a day, Cuddy said. And the library, they had tried other things before they got to this point, including adding more security guards, additional staff training, and an online reporting system. But none of those things ever worked. But the bag checks and the metal detectors, they did. It made the library instantly safer for staff and patrons.
It was a difficult decision to make, but we felt we have a legal responsibility to keep our staff safe, to provide a safe and welcoming space, and that's what we did.
Oh, but enter the social justice activists. A group called Millennium for All started protesting.
But a group called Millennium for All says the screening targets marginalized groups like low-income Winnipeggers and people experiencing homelessness, and they want the screening to end immediately.
I'm very concerned that this will now extend to other public spaces.
I would suggest it made the library a lot easier for marginalized groups to use safely, but I'm not a comfortable social justice busybody like these people are. So Millennium for All complained and complained and complained, and it took a year, but the metal detectors and the bag checks were scrapped in the summer of 2020. And the city promised, it would never do such a thing again, making the library safer. Now here's where the rubber meets the road, and the activists, if they cared for a moment, would be getting mugged by reality. But I don't think they care at all, because they've obviously just moved on to their next consequence-free activism, while the vulnerable populations they claim to protect and care about have to live with the fallout. I saw this Winnipeg police press release this morning. On December 11th, 2022, at approximately 4:40 p.m., the Winnipeg Police Service responded to the Millennium Library for the report of a male who had been stabbed. Foot Patrol and General Patrol officers from Central District attended and located an adult male victim suffering from a stabbing. The victim was transported to hospital in critical condition, where he was pronounced deceased. 3 male youths have been arrested and placed in police custody. The homicide unit has assumed the investigation. Oh yes, friends, Millennium Library for All, indeed, including roving gangs of murderous criminals. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. Have you become a subscriber to Rebel News Plus? It's where you'll find all of our paywalled content early and ad-free, including a weekly show from me. It's called The Gun Show, and I talk to interesting newsmakers you might not hear from in the mainstream media. It's really easy to become a subscriber. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com.